Hey friends, welcome back to Find Yourself in a Character. My weekly video series takes us on the exploration of some of my favorite characters and their journeys. I'm Jenny D, author, consultant, and an international promoter of Love and Triumph. In this week's episodes, I decided to go with the Goodreads 2020 novel of the year, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Now, I've never heard of him before. I've never heard of the book before. I don't even know what genre it belonged to. But reading the synopsis, it sounded really intriguing. And boy, I have to tell you, it did not disappoint. I was absolutely fascinated from beginning to end. I have to say, though, in the beginning, when I'm reading through the story, the main character, Nora Reed, she's the one going on this journey. And I didn't find her very relatable in the beginning. She had a deep rooted anxiety and depression. And although I have certainly dealt with my own personal anxiety and depression, I've never felt it to her same level of despair or where she couldn't see herself out of a difficult situation. Like she had no faith, she had nothing positive. So I couldn't relate to her in the beginning because even in my darkest times, I still fought to find the light, and she had given up her fight. But as I read more and more, I realized the relatability wasn't in that specifically. It was more in her lessons and as she experienced life. And where I connected with her like a lightning bolt was when she arrived at this midnight library and was shown her book of regrets. Boy, did that open up a couple of inner thoughts about, well, yeah, I have some regrets. I mean, things I wish I could have done differently in my life, different decisions I could have made, a lot of what ifs. What if I did this? Would life have turned out differently? And this book takes you on that beautiful exploration of getting to see what would happen if you didn't regret but went for it. How would life have turned out? What would it look like? And that's where it absolutely grabbed my attention. And by the end of the novel, I was blown away because it just, first of all, it was talking about parallel lives, how we're all living this at the same time. And just, my mind loves that kind of, I call this like an existential adventure. Like I love the metaphysical and wondering what else is out there. Are we living multiple lives at the same time or past lives or all that? So that to me completely spoke to my wheelhouse. And as we're going through it and examining these different possibilities, I started seeing what she's seeing. And I'm not going to spoiler alert it and how it all ends and everything. But I'll just say that our relatability came mostly by the end when I felt the same lesson. I was learning it along through her. I was experiencing these things through her eyes and resonating because I would have thought the same thing. I would have come to the same conclusion. And it really made me appreciate my own life even deeper. So I know I'm tearing up a little bit, but it was very moving. It was exciting. It was curious, I guess you could say. So anybody who's looking for like a different kind of book outside of the norm, again, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. So even though I didn't really get too much into who she was as a character, I'm hoping that you found a little bit of relatability in that, in what I found in like, do you have regrets? What ifs? Now, what if you had experienced that? So I hope you get the book. I think you would enjoy it deeply. So that's my episode for this week. I appreciate you tuning in. If you want to learn more about me and my works, you can find me at www.jennydauthor.com. I appreciate you and look forward to seeing you next week where you can find yourself in a character.